SP Resize is an application that allows you to resize windows within the Macintosh operating system. Once you've downloaded SP Resize, go ahead and unzip it and mount the disk image. Once the disk image loads, then you can go and run the installer. The installer is the standard procedure on a Mac, so we've already installed on this system. So let's go ahead and close the Finder window and launch SP Resize with Quicksilver. Quicksilver is an application launcher and much more. You can find more information about it online. We're going to use it to actually open up SP Resize. And from here you can see that we've got several different resolutions that we currently support. Right now our monitor resolution is 800 by 600, and you can see that we are shooting on 2 displays. So we've got our main display on the left here and our secondary display on the right with the zebra. So I'm going to go ahead and choose 800 by 600, and we get a dialog that pops up that says if you're using Quicksilver, this is going to override the key commands that you may have assigned using Quicksilver. If you're using Quicksilver but you're not using that function, then there's no need to worry about this. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes, that's fine. And then Quicksilver will relaunch once this has been installed. And now with Quicksilver relaunched, I can resize windows to various sizes in the Finder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the second monitor and zoom this. Not maximize, that's a Windows function. Because normally this button doesn't go to full screen. It goes to whatever settings that you pre-assign, as you've probably experienced. So the zoom button is not a maximize button if you've come from Windows land. And this behaves differently depending on what application that you're in. So here's one state that I've got it. I'm going to go ahead and press the zoom button again, and you can see the previous state. If I press it again, you can see the size that I resized it to. Let me go ahead and do something else. We'll go back to large and then back to my secondary size that I had. So you may have experienced this where you've got a window and you moved it over, and now I no longer have handles, especially if you're using a secondary display, because you can see I have a little bit more screen real estate on our secondary display, and we can no longer get to the bottom of that. There's other workarounds where I can hide my toolbar if I want to, but that's a little bit of a drag. That's not really what I'm after. So with SP Resize, all you need to do is press a key command and it will resize our window. So there's a full screen and then dual screens. So kind of handy. If I've got windows that I'm quickly creating, I can quickly send them over to whatever screen that I want with the application. So let's go back to SP Resize and show the keyboard shortcuts. And here's what we have. So do note that these keyboard shortcuts will override or sit on top of whatever keyboard shortcuts you have in an application. So if you're using something like iMovie or Mail or some other application that actually uses these key commands, then they will be overridden. So we've tried to use key commands that will hopefully not interfere with most applications. So we're using all 4 modifiers with Shift, Control, Option, and Command, and then our down arrow will maximize to our main monitor. So again, we'll take a look at that. That's to our main monitor. We'll go back to what we had for our full screen dual with our up arrow, all 4 modifiers, and that will go to both monitors. So we'll just close that, make a new Finder window, and that's what we're getting. So main monitor and dual monitors. Our other things that we can do is move them from window to window. So with the left and right arrow keys with all 4 modifiers, this is moving them from window to window. This can definitely speed up your workflow if you think about how much you do that in a day. The other key commands are just other bonuses that might help, and these are in the shape of the arrow keys, so you can see some other functions that we can do. So let's take a look at moving our windows and nudging them and resizing them. So if I want to resize my window, this is all 4 modifiers. If I want to move a window, I can hold down Control, Option, and Command and move a window around. Do note that this function is not currently supported in Snow Leopard, but you can do one at a time. You can't just hold down the arrow keys and move this around. So I'm going to go ahead and also move this to the top corner and just move the windows around. So another kind of helpful function when you're making a bunch of windows. You may want to quickly resize them and position them in different locations. We'll cover SP Resize in other applications in another movie.